Well, hello again, boys and girls, and ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. This is your pal Dave, carrying on with part two of my musical career on Stories with Dave. So, when we left off, I had gone off to college. I had been in a group called Milkweed, and I have to say, I don't think I've said this before, but I was a lead guitar player. I like to play lead guitar, I like doing solos and all that good stuff. And that's what I did in previous iterations of my musical career. So, anyway, I went off to school my junior year of college, Central Washington State, up in Ellensburg, Washington. Had fun there. There'll be other stories about my fun and games up there. But I ran out of money, so I had to come back to the Bay Area. I ended up enrolling at Cal State Hayward and graduated from there with a BA in history because I'm a historical kind of guy. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so graduated from college. I enrolled for my fifth year to get a teaching credential. I got married, and so the time's going on. I was sweating out getting, maybe having to go to Vietnam. It's, again, another story for another time. So I was married for several years and ended up getting a divorce. Boo-hoo. It was bad news, but stuff happens, right? So this is years later, probably 8 years after I had gone away to college at Central. And moved on. I was living in a place in Redwood City. This is, you can see the place in the back there. That's where I lived. I lived in the back and the upstairs. These were a set of two duplexes here, front and back. Lived back there. And so after being divorced and stuff, I'm thinking, I need to meet some women. How can I do that? Well, I met a lot of girls when I was playing in bands, so I think, well, let's try and get into another band. So let's see how that works. So I took the old Firebird, and I didn't have the Vibrolux Reverb amp, Vibrolux Reverb, enunciate, David, any longer. But this band I got into, we were going to be doing a lot of different things because the keyboard player, the pianist, actually, her name was Diane, and she was classically trained, and she was in the Musicians Union, did a lot of showcases, show tunes, that sort of thing. So I was going to have to widen my approach at guitar. So I was out looking for more equipment, new equipment. I was looking to get one of these. This is a Fender Bandmaster Reverb amp, which is pretty nice. Back in the day, it was a pretty nice amplifier. It was the Bandmaster sound, but it had a built-in reverb rather than having to get the outboard reverb unit. So anyway, I looked at that at my local dealer, and they said, "Hey, look at this." I said, "Okay, what's the deal here?" This is a Music Man 65 watt reverb with a, well, mine didn't look exactly like this, but it was along these lines. It cost a lot less than the Fender, and it was made by Leo Fender, who had sold his company to CBS in the mid 60s and had a non-compete clause in his sale to them. But by this time, the 10 years of that non-compete was up, and he was making guitars and amplifiers once again. Anyway, this was a very good unit, very good thing for doing what we were going to do. And I ran this thing through it. This is a Morley Power Wah fuzz pedal. You can see there's a power cord coming off of this. What the heck? Well, it didn't plug in to a little outlet. It was a 110 VAC type thing. You had to plug into the wall socket or something like that. But it worked very well. and played that with my Firebird, yes, through the Music Man amp. Sounded good. But this group I was getting into needed me to double on bass, so I ended up springing for this bad boy. This is not mine, but it's very similar to the one I had. This is a 1976 Fender Precision bass, or P bass. What a great bass that was. Very good. And so I learned how to play bass. I got to be, so I was as good, if not better, as a bass player than I was as a guitarist. But that's, well, I got good. I enjoyed playing bass. That was good. So anyway, this group I got into was called Night Music. And we did music from the all the way from the turn of the century all the way up to what was current back then in the mid 70s. And like I said, we did showcases, concerts, that type of thing. But I had to get into the American Federation of Musicians to be in that group because everybody else were union members. And it was, well, to make union scale, you had to be in the union, right? So at that time, one of my fellow union members was this guy. This is Carlos Santana. He was in Local 6 as well. There were some other famous people. I never met Carlos, by the way. But there were quite a few famous people in AFM Local 6 back then. So anyway, I had to prove my proficiency playing, etc., to get my union card. And I was afraid they were going to make me read music, which I rudimentally, I kind of could read music, but I learned how to do that when I played the cornet. Remember part one of this? Yeah, well, anyway. But luckily I didn't have to read music to get in the union. So, got in the union and we played showcases, concerts, that type of thing. This place is called the Dock. It's in Tiburon there in Marin County. Pretty nice place. And we did a gig there and got some pretty darn good response to that. In fact, one of the people that was there at the gig came up and said, "Hey, I want to represent you guys." So he became the band manager, whatever you want to call us. Went out looking for work for us. So we had a lot of different gigs after that. One was at a airport hotel near the San Francisco airport. We did that for 3 or 4 months. And then after that, we did quite a long stint at the Velvet Turtle in San Rafael. But that's, we'll get to that. But to do these things, we had to dress the part. So guess what? I went out and got me some spiffy duds like these ridiculously looking flared pants and tuxedo shirt with ruffles, pleats on it, nice bow tie, and ridiculously high stack shoes. So I was like Disco Duck all over again. It was kind of a strange looking outfit, but it fit what we had to do. So anyway, this is a logo for the Velvet Turtle. We played the one in San Rafael for probably 7 months, and we've got really a good following there. People liked what we did, and we enjoyed doing it. But I have to say that all this time, the drummer and I were both holding down 40-hour-a-week jobs, and then we were putting another 20 hours a week playing, and on top of that, we both lived there on the San Francisco Peninsula, and going from that area up to San Rafael and back 3 or 4 nights a week got really taxing on us. So after putting in almost a year of burning ourselves out, we said it's time to take a break. So we did that. And that was the best group I was in. I remember one time there at the Velvet Turtle, we were doing a song and I took my solo and I just nailed it. It was just fantastic. And I got a standing ovation. I couldn't believe it. But it was good. It was all good. Anyway, back to me today, or relatively today. I don't play to make music. I play to make music. I don't play for money anymore because who wants to hear a guy that's my age playing for money? Unless you're a Rolling Stone, it doesn't work. But so this is stuff. I still got the old Firebird, and this is a Fender Blacktop music Jazzmaster, Fender Blacktop Jazzmaster guitar. I finally got my Fender guitar. It's very nice, and I enjoyed it greatly. Here's my amplifier. It's an Ignitor 15 watt 12 inch speaker. Lots of tube amp. It's got lots of variety of sounds, and there's a small pedal board. I've got a wah-wah and a fuzz and a distortion and a lot of different things that go through it. I make all sorts of weird noises with that. So anyway, it was good being in the Musicians Union. It was good playing those years. Made extra money, met women, and I will not go into the meeting women part of it here and now because there's no time. We're out of time. Gotta go. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time.